Rock bottle on the track, boy.
Do you think you have what it takes to take on the wild? To take on wilder adventures with standard 4x4? And to unleash in a Bronco Sport? Gear up and unleash in a new 2022 Bronco Sport. Contact your Ontario Ford.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Good evening, good day, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you so very much, guys. We are doing something a little bit different tonight. We're chatting with Jackie via, or Miss J, as I titled her in the episode. Miss J is a special, very special name to me, so I will call that to Miss J accordingly. Miss J, how are you?
Great, thank you.
Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate you.
No problem. Anytime.
So, with respects to what you uncovered with the ownership of the Bible, um, who is it? Who actually owns the Bible?
Well, no one owns the Bible per se. People own the print and copyrights to the translations of the Bible. So the most common version of the Bible is the King James Version, which is the most circulated in the world, is owned by the Crown. So the royals own the copyrights to the King James Version of the Bible. So let's just imagine how much money that really is.
Okay, so really we're looking at imagine hopping onto Amazon like I did earlier. I think it was like earlier this year, and ordering a copy of the King James, the NKJV, New King James version of the Bible, um, for I think it was like $25 or something like that, right? And it comes like in a brand new sealed package, makes you feel pretty special opening it up. So in any case, as you're saying, you can go online, or as I'm saying, go online, purchase this thing on Amazon. It's readily available. So as you say, many copies sold. So my next question to you is, we were chatting earlier, how many different versions of the Bible do you think exists at this point in time?
So trying to find how many versions exist was pretty difficult actually, because a, there's thousands and thousands of translations. So, but the versions, it seems like there's about, I don't know, 8 to possibly 12 different versions. And then each version has been translated into each different language. So that's why they say there's like thousands and thousands of versions, but or thousands and thousands of translations, I should say. Let me rephrase that. And then it seems like there's only like 8 to 12 different versions. So there's like the New American.
Right?
There's the New American. What is that? The New American NASB, right?
Yeah, literally, I just pulled it up on the screen. Like you can see what I'm doing, right? Or
Well, it's a
are you
little.
just
I'm a little bit. You're
you're
on the
yeah, no,
screen,
here's
so
and here's what's funny is
I'm watching the YouTube, but yeah,
yeah, here's
the
what's
screen is
funny.
like
I'm
there's a little lag.
okay, let
So
me tell you, I'm actually literally I'm ahead of you, right? But I literally just pulled up what you were about to, or what you were saying, which is the
okay.
ESV version, which is the 10th grade level or something. Message 4 to 5. Anyways, go on with what you're saying. I'm so sorry. What I'm specifically looking for, like the the main versions that end with a I guess a V, right? So it's
Yeah.
the
So the ones that you have there are those. That's what I said. There's 8 to 12 because then there's some extra ones that have been, done by individuals a little differently. So like I said, there's like 8 to 12 versions. So that looks like the top 8 that you have pulled up right there, right?
gotcha. Okay, so let me see here. Bible translations. How many versions of the Bible are there? Answered. Let me just see what's down this somewhat easy looking site. I'm not sure.
Yeah, none of them are. I went through it.
Is there's nothing easy. Okay. So let's
I
go.
didn't use Google, so I don't know.
So
But
here's what I
okay.
understand from how many different versions of the Bible there are at this point in time. From my understanding, there's the KJV, so the King James version. I would say like that's the grandfather, and then I would
No,
under
there's some that are older than that. The King
okay.
James, I think, was the third. The King James was the third translated Bible. So
Okay.
they were number 3. So there was 2 before them.
All right. Do you have any idea what those names are?
Yeah, hold on, let me see. If I don't know if am I gonna, so it was give me a second.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, so there was the interlinear one, which is the which is the translation word for word. So the first one that was translated was the Interlinear Bible,
Okay.
which was a translation from Hebrew, basically word for word. Which
Gotcha.
is so it's really hard to read
To
because
read.
it's like the direct translation, right?
Gotcha.
So, and then the NASB is the formal word for word translation that existed after the interlinear. That is not so it's formal, but it's not so exact word for word.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then there's
Okay. So hold up a second. Here's where I'm at. I don't want to get too deep into the finite details, but what I'm going to say is King James Version, fine. But then there's all these new different versions.
Yeah.
So with all of these different new versions that exist, I went into, as everybody does these days, Genesis 1:6. And I pulled up images, and I'll wait for you to catch up. But to say that there's a variation of a word being the firmament. And as I start to realize that this is going to become a bit of an issue. So, take for instance the firmament, and what I'm going to say at this point, from what you guys may have seen on the thumbnail of the video, is the King James Version of the Bible. This one here that I quoted and showed. And God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from," and then there's further to that. Like, that's what he made on the second day. So that's the lid to the petri dish. That's how I understand it to be, right? The petri dish, we see the moon literally is a perfect circle. I see that as the petri dish. We are inside of that petri dish. The cap to the petri dish is the firmament. That's how I understand it to be. Now, Jackie, the next quote beside it, though, I don't know if you can see that. Okay. I'm not sure where this one comes from, but then there's another variation that says, "And God said, let there be an expanse between the waters to separate the water from water." So,
and what version is that in?
I don't. That's just it. I don't know. I literally just went through like a bunch of stuff. So my throwback question to you is, what did you find in the versions of Genesis 1:6 that you checked out? If you did, you have an opportunity to look into that?
Well, I looked up Genesis 1:6 and it said exactly what you said before.
The firmament.
So, yeah.
Okay. So
I didn't see anything about the expanse.
no, it's totally cool. But here's the thing I want to show you, right? This is, I'm going to go to, what I'm going to do. See, what I'm going to do is, the one I'm going to pull up, I'm going to ask you to read. Let me see here. Bible, New Version. And guys, I know I'm being slow to the draw here, but bear with me because I'm going to show you where I'm going to. Now I'm going to go to Bible Gateway. And I'm going to pull up, let me see here, New International Passage. Okay, cool. Genesis 1:6. Go. Yeah, I'll wait for you to catch. Let me know when you caught up to this. Where are you at?
Okay, I'm there.
All right, read that for me. Oh
It's
wait,
small.
hold on. Bear with me. Bear with me. There we go. Here.
It's too small. I need glasses.
Hold on. Is it bigger yet? I highlighted it.
And God said there, okay, be a vault between the waters to separate water from water.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So now we've got.
That's the New International Version. Okay, so you can change the versions right there and see what each version says.
Okay, so that's the NIV. Then we're gonna go to the NCB, and we'll hit search. This one says, and God said, let there be a firmament, which is the NCB. Now, holy crow. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a lot of published versions, dude. Holy crow. Okay, so here's where I'm leading to. It would have helped if I actually found the version that said the one that I was said exactly what I was looking for, but I think if I do this is a Hail Mary pass. Let's see if I'm successful on the throw. I skipped. Okay, so Genesis 1:6, space. Go. Let me see. Okay, that'll work. Okay, let me. What frame are you at, Jackie?
I'm with you. Go ahead. I think I'm with you.
Okay. What about this one? Do you see the Common English Bible?
Yep.
Let there be a what?
A firmament in the midst of the water. Yep.
No, we got
Let there
dome.
be a dome.
We got a dome this time. Right?
Let there be a dome in the middle of the waters to separate the waters from each other.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. And I'm hoping that I find it. It doesn't look like I'm going to be successful in finding the version that I wanted to find. But here's where I'm leading to, my friends. Jackie, let me see here. One of the versions that I was able to come across, I'll make this one big. That one you should be able to read. Yeah. Okay, so this is the English Standard Version. Can you read that for me, please?
Let there be an expanse in the midst of the water, and let it separate the waters from the waters. An expanse.
Right. So there was a passage that I read, again, Genesis 1:6, that talks about let there be a space. Right? They flipped it from firmament, dome, space. Right? I'm just showing all these different versions because there's all these different variations. Right? Now.
So they went from calling it a firmament and then a dome, and then to calling it expanse and then space.
Right. So it's gone from being a solid object to a non-solid object. Right? And this is where I come from saying the book killed the building.
Yeah, that doesn't make no sense. How is an expanse or a space dividing water?
Right. How does a firm object, right, that's capable of creating, we believe, the sun and the moon, right, through refraction, right, through the North Star, Polaris, right?
Yeah, if we go with the
If we go with the flat Earth model, okay, yeah, that's a fair statement. If we go with the flat Earth, if we go with the Flurf model, yes, that is 100% correct. So now they've brought in the question of questioning the cap to the petri dish, right? Which is the firmament. That's what I'm saying. Like the lid. If you this. And I'm not even sure if this diagram that I'm showing right now is even. I could see this being right. I still don't 100% know. But let me know when you catch up. When you catch up. But so oh sorry. Let me know when you're there.
I'm here.
So
Right. So
let's just be critical about this, and this is where Bird entered, right? The entry point where he met the Ariani race and all that stuff, right? And then there's the underworld, which is here, and the inner Earth Sun. Again, if we go with the Flurf model, there's the inner Earth Sun, which is here. That comes up. It's North Polaris is here, and then Bingo Bango creates the moon, creates the sun, and that shines on the land. And I mean, the land would be flat or a plateau, anyways. And I think it's more of like this system here. Seriously, a snow globe. I'm going to let me know when you get there. The snow globe.
yeah, okay.
So, anyways, my thought to this is, you're familiar with the Tower of Babel, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the Tower of Babel talks about how everybody spoke the same language and this thing was built. I'm actually just going to pull up, see what I find in the pictures just to be illustrative about my Tower of Babel. Bingo Bango. Tower of Babel. Okay, so the people all worked together and they built this tower. Oh my gosh. I just want a picture. Okay, this will work. Excuse me. So the people work together. Their attempt to build to the heavens, to reach God, basically. They weren't aware of the firmament at this point because they were literally too small to know of the firmament at this point in society or evolution, whatever you want to call it. And then when they finally got to a point, God said, forget y'all, and went poof and smacked them all, and they all ended up speaking like 70 different languages or however it all worked. I'm starting to hypothesize that the elimination of the firmament is man's common day version of the Tower of Babel. Does that make sense? What do you think?
I can see where you're going with that. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
and again, hear me out, right? With that, okay, go ahead.
So you're suggesting that esoterically removing the dome from the Bible, removing the firmament from the Bible, opens it up to opens us up to space, so to speak, and that would open us up to the heavens. Is that where you're going with it?
Exactly. It's
okay.
The idea of...
Well, the Tower of Babel was supposed to be their stairway to heaven, so to speak. And now this is just, they're just saying, oh, well, there isn't one, so let's go. We're going to heaven.
Right.
Against God's will.
Exactly. Now remember...
Whether he likes it or not.
That's right. And remember,
okay.
the struggle of man is to, and I believe it's to prove to disprove Jesus, right? It's to disprove that no man could walk a non-sinful life. Therefore, like, the people would basically say, aha, we know you, we see you, and we're gonna basically get to you, kind of thing. The edification of God. So the next part of the unpacking of that, because it's think about the time of Noah with the Nephilim and the giants, and the fact that the flood was brought about to cleanse the earth of the giants and, well, yeah, cleanse the earth of the giants, right? But nothing cleansed the earth of sin. Literally, the seven deadly sins.
Right.
Because those still existed as spirits. Those spirits came to earth in the fallen. That's my thought, right? Like the fallen brought the seven deadly sins, or the seven deadly sins as part of their DNA, with the secrets of heaven, if you will, if that made sense. Anyways, that's another rabbit hole. Forget that. I'll leave that.
So you're proposing sin was created by the fallen.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
And I can see that. Okay, so
right, because sin didn't exist before the fallen came to earth. That's fact. 100%. You can no, hold on. Let me tell you, I'll qualify that, because again, we're gonna break down the lineage, right? The lineages. There's the first son, which was Cain. Then the second son was Abel. Cain killed Abel, right? Cain went off, started his own village, started his own posse, right? And then,
wasn't that the first sin?
And then Seth showed up. Pardon me?
But wasn't that the first sin?
What was the first sin? No, the first sin was cast by Adam.
Cain. Oh, that's right. So then how? Wait. So then how? What did the Nephilim that brought down sin?
They brought, okay, hold on. So, okay, yeah, no, actually, no, you're 100% right. So the Nephilim brought down the secrets of heaven, right? Astrology, telling of astrology, telling of being able to read the weather, the clouds, the cutting of the roots, all those things. So the fallen, yeah, and you're right about that. No, you're right about that. Thanks for catching me on that, because again, no, you're right about that, because the original sin was casted by Adam. Yeah, that's 100% right. Good call. Great call. Yes. So, how do we get into the fallen? Holy crap. We just rabbit holed ourselves. How do we get to the chat? We're reaching out. Where do we left off on, we jumped off the fall. Oh yeah. So, versions of the Bible. Right, Jackie?
Yes.
All right, cool. The reason I'm heading on this version of the Bible thing, the elimination of the cap, right? Remember Hillary, sorry to yell and scream. Hillary Clinton. She talks about there's 18 million cracks in the dome or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine not having really to remove the dome. They just wrote the dome out of existence, right? Print killed architecture. Book killed the building, right? This is what I'm saying. This is how I'm shouting out to these science guys. And I'm saying, there's a point where your third eye has to open and let your body be filled with light, to quote scripture, to say that our divine nature has to resonate, right? It has to make sense. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, but also don't forget we have free will. So, I mean, let me just throw this out there for consumption.
Please.
Whatever we believe in is what is. So firmament. If we say it's gone, it's gone. Like if because that's kind of like I'm rolling down the esoteric chain.
You're
now, right?
100%, and you're also playing devil's advocate. Go on, I'm allowing you your space. Keep going. Go.
Right. So by removing the firmament, then no one believes it ever existed because now it's not in the Bible anymore. Moving forward, so if the belief in the firmament fades or cracks or whatever, then maybe they can break through it. Maybe we are what keeps the firmament in place.
Okay.
The belief of the firmament, the belief in the firmament. Hey, I'm just saying.
I got you. What I'm saying from an attempt to state what I see happening from a macrocosm perspective, like a higher view, is the attempt, and that's what I keep saying, the attempt to marginalize and minuscule man, right? To just like make you feel small, because it's the idea of destabilizing the building, putting man on skates, right? Putting this whole idea of blue marble forward, right? Shake the man down to his foundation, i.e., make him think he's on marbles versus he's on a stable plateau, right? That's more of a, I say right too much. I need to get like a right counter, right? I'm going to have to hit a button and I'll see how many times I say right in an episode. Sorry, guys. Being aware, I'm aware. Yeah, where was I? Shoot, train of thought lost. Streamer brain. Jackie, thoughts? Did I lose you?
No, I'm here. So my whole thing is kind of like you said, they're trying to basically write the firmament out of existence the same way they wrote pretty much the earth out of existence the way it was created.
Right.
So I say that it goes back to belief. That's the way I feel about it. Because consciousness, right? And where our thoughts go, where our thoughts manifest, right?
That's okay. You can't. Okay, listen. So again, I want to set up a chat with you and Raj and myself because I want to unpack that exact idea. And I can't, because Raj sent me a piece this morning and I thought to myself, we definitely have to unpack the three of us. We should unpack this. It would be really good. So I wanna leave that there, if respectfully, if you wouldn't mind. Because that's what I believe is happening, right? It's the attempt to attack man, to destabilize his foundation, right? To make him scared of ultimately death. But
Yeah.
that's what I feel like that's where that's heading.
Well, yeah, because if we believe that there's a firmament and that there's space and a heaven, well, not space, that we believe that there's a firmament, then there's a heaven up there. And we know that when we die, this is not the end. But if you are in space and there's nothing out there, then where do you go when you die?
But
it's a big question mark, and it can make people scared and nervous and like, oh my God, what comes after this? You know, people who believe in God know what comes after this, you know, but other people, it's just another fear tactic, you know, another thing to make you scared, afraid, and, you know, humanity's power. It's that simple. You're nothing. You're no one. You're insignificant. A speck on a ball that's spinning in space. Pretty much.
That's my point. I feel like I need to clip that. I'm going to clip that out. So imagine you go to church in the, what's the long UAE? What is that? How do you say it? United Emirates. What's the E stand for?
United Arab Emirates.
Okay, great. You said it. I didn't. You go to church at the Abrahamic family house. I'm butchering everything this evening. Jeez. Have you seen this yet, my friend? Let me know when you get there. Because this is crazy. And I don't know anybody listening in chat wants to hit up the comments or anything, but like this is starting to get creepy. I'm literally having chills on the back of my neck as I say this, going up the left side. So this is the Abrahamic family house. About the Abrahamic family house. The Abrahamic family house will be a beacon of mutual understanding, harmonious coexistence, and peace among people of faith and goodwill. It consists of a mosque, church, synagogue, and educational center, as to be built on Saadiyat Island, the cultural heart of Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates. Through its design, it captures values shared between Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, and serves a powerful platform for inspiring and nurturing understanding and acceptance between people of goodwill. My friends, I propose to you that during the introduction of all these different versions of the Bible, the word space will be introduced into the version that is used in this compound. Yes, a compound. That's right. 3 buildings is a compound. And this is how space will get worshipped. And space getting worshipped ultimately leads to
I see where you're going. Okay.
Ultimately leads to this, which ultimately leads to oops. Which ultimately leads to that. Let me know when you get there. So it's the edification, the salute, the acknowledgement. As I say salute, this guy shows up with his fingers up in the air. That's crazy. I couldn't have asked for a better universal salute. Shout out to that. But that's where it's at for me right now, guys. That the introduction of the word space in the word in Genesis 1:6 will lead to the worship of space, which is controlled by NASA, which is ultimately the snake's tongue. Again, another salute to the snake's tongue.
Yeah.
Bro, let me know if I'm crazy.
I can see it. No, I can see it. I can see it. I can see it happening. Easily happening.
Yo, fire.
Like I said, they removed the firmament, replaced it with space, and yeah, there you go.
Right? Yo, Fireball's in the chat. What's up, Fireball?
It's not a hard thing to conceptualize them, to jump from the word expanse to make that into space. I mean, they call space the great expanse already, right? So,
yeah. So I'm saying,
100%.
hold on. So, hold on. Yo, Fireball, good day, man. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you, family. Thanks for being here, man. I agree with you, man. There's only one Bible. Don't have to say it. I agree with you. But my question is, which version is it that you have? Fireball, do you have a copy? Because I have. It's an outgoing challenge. Anybody who has a copy of their Bible, go get it right now. Look it up. It's literally the first page. And this is what I say to you guys. We only need the first page of the Bible to edify what's happening right now. Seriously. It doesn't. We don't have to unpack much just to get an idea as to what's actually transpiring.
There's only one Bible. It's only been translated 1,500 times.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the problem.
That's what I'm saying. And I just showed the different versions, right? How these different versions all have different names. So right now, I'm just reaching out to you guys openly to say, what copy do you have? Right? Which copy is it? What does Genesis 1:6? It's literally on the first page. You can't miss it. It's like the inner cover. But because I know, like, there's firmament, there's dome, there's vault, there's space. But I'm telling you, if the copy goes through with the name of being space in Genesis 1:6 and this Abrahamic family house, which has been built, and it's March 2022. Guys, I'm saying this is the site for the betrayal, the Antichrist, the 7 years, the tribulation, time and a half again. That this is it. This is it. 100%. This is talked about in Scripture, man. This is what I'm saying. We need to pay attention, right? The first thing we found in what was it, the 90s? Yeah, was the Ark. I mean, that's what was cool to me anyways. But anyways, these sneaky guys, because again, Jackie, why does one printing press or whatever, right, have so many different copies in one book?
Yeah. Well, because you know what? Here's the thing: if no one does own the Bible. So anyone can translate it into anything they want, because no one actually owns the copyright to the actual Bible. They own the copyright to the translations. So if you want to translate the Bible, you can. You can go ahead and translate the Bible. Anybody can do it if they want. They just write their copy, and then you just got to get it printed. You got to get it sent out. You got to get it, basically published. But if you want to write a version, anyone can write a version. So, and you can change it however you want. If someone publishes it, they publish it. That's it. And then it's out there. Your version of the Bible. Like, that's kind of effed up, right? Like,
Yep.
People shouldn't be allowed to change it. I don't think so, anybody. But hey, like, because there's like, looking it up, and I'm like, why? Like, there's versions of the Bible that people just decided to like one guy wrote the Bible as if it was a novel and had it actually published. So that's now an actual quote unquote version of the Bible.
Version of the Bible. Okay, like, that's fair. Yeah. Fairly stated. Okay, so
written as if it's a novel.
Okay. Well, Book of Eli, one could almost be like, hey man, that was a version 2. Okay, so here's a question. Here's another test for you guys. And again, shout out to Fireball with the comment. Fireball said, hold on. He said, King James. It's a matter of how much corruption. So that's the version he has, the King James version, sorry. It's a matter of how much corruption you allow. For instance, a dirty glass of muddy water, a man could read and be saved. But the next glass, I bet he'd prefer crystal clear water. As Fireball further, what does 1:6 say? Genesis. Mix my metaphors. A man dying of thirst is what he meant. Yes. Okay, that makes sense. A man dying of water would mean all the difference to him. He would drink that muddy water. That's totally understood. So that's the next thing, or let's call it a perversion, if you will, is Genesis 6:14. And that's where God gives instruction to Noah to build the ark. And he tells him to make it out of spruce. But in the version I have, it says it make it out of gopher wood. So again, from a standpoint of they found the ark in Ararat, Turkey. It's been vetted as spruce, but now all of a sudden, somebody else could come along and be like, but it was supposed to be made of gopher wood, and this is made of spruce. And the version of the Bible that I have says that it's made of gopher wood. So,
nobody even knows what gopher wood is, though. Like, that's the whole point, right? So they use the term gopher wood. Nobody knows what gopher wood even stands for, what it even stands for, because we don't have gopher wood as a tree or wood at this day and age. So gopher wood could literally be spruce. We don't know.
Exactly. So, next point of consideration for you is, this is my last point, and then I'm out like a light. The Twin Towers. If the world were curved, would the difference between the two buildings at the base, say at ground level, so when you measure the two on an x-axis on the ground level from left to right, understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then I go up to the very tippy top of the building, and I take that same measurement, again, from left to right, building to building, right? In the air. Shouldn't those two dimensions be? Shouldn't they vary if the world was arced? Because those two buildings are symmetrical.
That people don't build on a curved world. We build on a flat world. So.
But hey, listen. Hold on a second here. What do you mean we? What do you mean we? What do you mean we all know?
No, I'm saying, no, most of everybody on the planet knows you don't build on a curve. You build on flat ground. No one on this planet builds on a curve. That's just the truth. So nobody can say that I just made that up. Nobody builds on a curve. So
okay, so the world is not curved then. The world is flat. The earth is flat.
The grounds I walk on that's as much as I know.
Okay.
I'll tell you that. I don't know what the shape of the world is. I know the ground that I walk upon mostly every day of my life is flat. So I don't know.
Here, I found an interesting picture. I'm gonna throw it up for consideration. Toronto's skyline. From, I'm gonna say Hamilton, I think it was. Yeah. And I again, I'm just a layman, right? I understand.
Listen, I haven't walked all the grounds of the world either, so I guess I can't, I guess I'm not wanting to talk about the whole entire world since I haven't walked upon it all. But
I sent this to my buddy.
Like, we don't build things on a curve. We build everything level. We build everything flat. But we make it flat. So
Well, that's what I thought.
We make everything flat. Like that. I don't know.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Hold on.
I don't know. I know that I don't know.
Okay, hold on a second though. So I realize that there may be some folks out there that say there's some height associated with this picture. But my first question is to you, where my cursor is, I don't know if you, oh my gosh. How about you flip your screen there, Wu-Tang guy? Sorry guys. Show him old age. Alright. Do you guys see my cursor? Right here. You see where that's at? Can you see that? Yeah, you can see that.
Screen didn't catch up yet.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool.
All right, there we go.
Okay, so this is the Toronto skyline from from Hamilton. I actually know what we'll do. We're gonna pull up. Let's do this.
Oh, I see what you're. I know what you're getting at. Go ahead.
Let's yeah, you go ahead. Jackie's like, okay, I see. You go ahead. You go, boy. Okay, yeah, so we're gonna go Hamilton to Toronto distance. Yeah. So we're talking. Okay, perfect. We're talking a distance of approximately 68 kilometers. Okay. And this is basically the distance we're looking at from, in the picture from here to there. So over a span of 68 kilometers, this is what this is. Okay, so this is Hamilton here, Steeltown. This is the Skyway Bridge, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is Burlington, right? And this is Toronto over here. So this is 68 kilometers from here to there, okay? Now, this little white thing that they're going to be covering up, because you can't see it soon because they're going to attempt to cover it up so that, hey, it can be covered. And yeah, I'm going to be conspiracy theorist and tell you that you're covering up stuff that is crucial for us to be able to identify certain things. However, I'm going to tell you that the height of the Sky Dome, right down right here, the highest point of the Sky Dome, that white structure, the Rogers Center, is 250 feet. Over this distance, there should be a depression of at least 900 feet. The Sky Dome should not even be close to being visible. And don't tell me about my vantage point here in Hamilton is higher and it's giving me a higher purview based on the distance. No, my friend. Not to a depression 3 times the distance of that depression. Because again, if that height, that Sky Dome is 250 feet to the peak. Let me look this up again.
Yeah, there hasn't been one experiment that a flat earth person, a flat earth believer has presented that I just looked at, that afterwards I was like, oh, that's BS and you can debunk it. So I don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah, man. All right, homie. I don't know. I'm looking again. 86. Yeah, well, it says here height, 86 meters. Hold on a second. Hey, Google, what is 86 meters converted to feet?
86 meters is equal to 282 feet, 1.827 inches.
300 feet, right? You're going to say 300 feet to the top. And based on that depression, anyways, I'm going to leave this one alone. The next thing we're going to talk about is an airplane. The plane, boss, the plane. But so I followed one thing I wanted to tell you, and thank you for Jackie. Shout out to you. Is our chat yesterday MsJ. Miss J. Holler, Miss J. Is our little chat with or interaction with Mr. FTFE. And you just reminded me to remain grounded, right, and not to get too caught up in that stuff. So I sent him a message over on YouTube, and I'm like, "Yo, I've withdrawn my weapons," and I left it at that. But he is attempting to engage me with some conversation, so we'll see how it goes. And the other thing that I interestingly unpacked with you, Jackie, was the story of David, King David, and Goliath.
Mm-hmm.
That was actually, his city was Jerusalem. Did you know this?
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
He took the Ark of the Covenant into Jerusalem, right? That's how he I'm trying to remember the story, right?
Wow. We'll have to leave it.
I believe he brings back the Ark of the Covenant to Jerusalem.
That's crazy. I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that
think
was
he's
so
the
much,
one who
man.
brought it back.
That's
If I'm
nuts.
remembering the bits and pieces of the story correctly.
Yeah.
I believe he's the one that returned it to Jerusalem, the Ark of the Covenant.
So this all leads to, and why I'm painting this crazy picture, is that you've got David who slays Goliath, becomes King David, right, in the city of Jerusalem.
Who starts out as a shepherd, right? Because he started out as a shepherd.
Right. But this goes back to his, well, great grandfather, Noah, building the ark because God told him he's going to flood it. Like this,
I
it's
didn't realize Noah was.
well, that's the lineage. But that's the lineage, and what I'm saying is that we get into these conversations with these, the aspect of evolution versus creation, right? We didn't evolve. We were created from man, because you edify with Adam and Eve, and if you don't edify with Adam and Eve, well, I'm going to go show you the ark, which is that 515-foot long object that's been edified in Scripture, and we only need the first page of the Bible to edify that. We don't have to go further. First page of the Bible has it. Right? And then all of a sudden the unpacking of, well, flat earth exists, because you then just start, like, the dominoes just fall organically, right? Because everything just takes shape. And like, when did we get so last? But anyways, that's for another discussion. But getting back to the original point of all of that is, I wanted to say thank you for reminding me to remain grounded in terms of my engagement. I took down all the Professor Dave hate video stuff that I had up. And yeah, so thanks for reminding me. I appreciate that.
No problem. It's, like I said, not that it was something that I felt was, just wrong. I just feel that we should always do better than them. And not, I don't like to get down in the dirt with people. I like to keep my clothes clean.
Well said. I know it's from a standpoint of seeing the motivation, from looking at it from a standpoint of science. And I know that there's a fine line with science. I think there's a certain walk that we can hit.
Well, science is a religion in itself.
But I think there's a certain integration, right? When you have science, when it meets, I think you have to, again, be open enough and wise enough and divine enough to know that, okay, Scripture.
But it's a religion. Most people don't realize science is a religion. It is a religion within itself, because you cannot prove everything that quote unquote science tells us. So you have to take it at face value the same way we use the Bible, and you take that at face value. So what is the difference? What is the difference between science and the Bible? There really isn't one, because there's things that you can prove and there's things that you can't. The same way with the Bible. There's things that we can prove, that you can show, like the ark, like Noah's Ark, like certain things, like there's things that the Bible edifies, that you can see, that you can taste, that you can touch, and then there's things that you have to have faith in. Yeah. Science is exactly the same way. Yeah. So don't tell me that it's any different. It's not. It's the truth.
That makes perfect sense.
Gravity, we can't prove gravity. We just say, oh, it exists. Why? Because we don't float off into the freaking air, right?
Yeah. Or
so
we
use that, and you take, well, people take gravity, people take gravity as no one can prove it. We can't prove gravity. We can't see it. We can't taste it. We can't touch it. Right?
But we feel it. We know that it exists because we are anchored to the ground, right? And it's what gets crazy, and I think that's where the whole, and man, I mentioned ego right now, but I think that's where man can get caught, is when you get into a battle of ego where the guy's like, I'm just gonna outdo you.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna outprove you. I got more proofs than you got. You know, like yeah, but you don't
Let's have a
know.
debate.
So no one knows who really is right. You know, like so believe what you want, and let you know. That's why everybody needs to go within and ask themselves the questions instead of asking the books and other people the questions. Ask yourself the question and get the answer that way, please.
So Fireball just posted up with a comment. Don't argue with idiots. They will bring you down to their level and beat you with experience. Yes, man. So well said.
Exactly.
Jay-Z
Exactly. Thank you.
Jay-Z in one of his songs said, don't have an argument with an idiot. People from a distance can't tell who is who. It makes perfect sense.
Exactly.
So well stated, Fireball, man. I appreciate the being able to bring up something like that, man. It makes perfect sense. Guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna have a some TV time, then go to bed. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for being here, hanging out, throwing the ball around. Jackie, let's do this more often. It was nice. It was. I'm glad. I'm gonna check back the audio. I hope the audio came out well. Fireball, if you can just let us know how the audio was coming out with Jackie and myself. I'm trying something in the quote studio. I'd really appreciate it. But beyond that, have an amazing evening, guys. Jackie, MsJ, thank you for your time, your space, and your energy to hang out with the Woo guy. And actually, in departing, you have a you met a couple of members of the Wu-Tang Clan. Remember? Didn't you?
Yes, many years ago.
Hey, way back in the day.
Many years ago.
Yeah. No, I'm not putting you on the spot or anything like that. Back in the day, man, I Wu-Tang Clan was amazing. Talking like for me, it was 98. I was like 18, 19, 20 when they were kind of coming up. And
I was 19 and in the New York club scene. So
yeah, you're right in there. So I was just watching those guys from a distance. But what's crazy is you and I connected on this Wu-Tang level because of the idea that obviously there were artists, but getting back into what Wu-Tang was all about, to quote RZA, Wu-Tang's all about that wisdom. It's that Wu. And what Wu is like chi, knowledge,
yes.
power, creation through thought, wisdom,
Light
knowledge
force,
of the universe.
life energy.
Exactly. So I decided to throw up this wallpaper as a little homage to the generals, because we always the Wu, because again, right, they trained us. Jizza, to quote Jizza, your tongue is a sword, your liquid swords. So I want to keep my my tongue sharp. Just kidding. But yeah, no, it's Wu's legit. If anybody sees this symbol and they don't know about it, go on Google, listen to 36 Chambers, Wu-Tang Clan, quote Jizza. I picked it up today. I think it's in Protect Your Neck. He said Cain killed Abel, and now their money's getting stuck to the gun. Now their money's getting stuck under the table. I was like, bro, amazing words. Who doesn't know about Cain killed Abel? What's interesting though, I took in another piece, and I'm gonna leave this. This will be my last damn part, and then I'm gonna leave it. I was listening to Jizza talk at a high school. I think a high school, or yeah, grade 10. I think it was like grade 10 or something. High school, yeah. And he started talking about evolution and how science can work. And how we've been here like, I guess, millions of years or whatever. But my whole question is, how are you going to talk about Cain killed Abel in a rap song, which shows understanding the Bible? But then you're going to walk into a classroom and talk about science and edify, we've been here for millions of years. Like the Bible only says we've been here for like 6,000 years. So I thought that was sticking to a story. I don't know. Another thought. More thought.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, no, nobody can answer that except him. Who knows? Thanks for being here. Appreciate you guys, Jack. Miss J, thank you so much for your time and space again. Have a wonderful
Have a
evening,
good night,
friends.
everybody.
Take care, guys. Be well.
Are you still in bed?